Tselane, as well as Commissioner Bongani Finga. As you know, we are now on the election mode as an organization, and these two commissioners have got to cover 3 provinces in 3 days. So Commissioner Mashinini is now in KwaZulu-Natal. From KwaZulu-Natal, he's got to go to Northern Cape. From Northern Cape, he's got to go to Mpumalanga as part of our preparation. And Commissioner Finga is also, he was in Cape Town yesterday, and he's doing Eastern Cape and other provinces. All of them are busy with the responsibility for this organization. Having said that, I've got to acknowledge my colleagues, Commissioner Janet Love, who is here with us, as well as Commissioner Judge Makanya. They're also very, very busy people, but we have forced them to come to today's session because it's important for us as commissioners to be here with the leadership of the political parties. But I also want to acknowledge the Chief Electoral Officer, Mr. Mwepya, and his team of Deputy CEOs, Dr. Masuku, as well as Mr. Mamabolo. The 3 of them, together with Fiona, have not been sleeping for the past few days, and I know that they are going to say that we should do something about it when it comes to payday. And I doubt the Commission will look into it. But thank you very much for the work that we've been doing. We are here largely because of the work that we've been doing for the past few days. Thank you very much. But also let me thank the leadership of the political parties that are here. Political parties are a very important partner in the electoral process. We cannot do anything as a Commission without consulting with the leadership of the political parties. And that relationship indeed has solidified our processes, and it has made our processes even much more easier. And we're grateful for this relationship that we have with you. I want to thank the media that is here. We also accept and recognize the important role that the media plays in terms of dissemination of information and also clarifying the message of the political parties so that the electorate can be able to participate in the process. I want to acknowledge the leadership of the IEC, the staff, and everybody who is here with us here today. These are the people who are safeguarding the integrity and the character of our organization, and we are perpetually grateful for the work that they do in our organization. I've been advised that today's proceedings will be very, very short because the main purpose is essentially to make sure that we conduct the draw to establish the order of political parties on proportional representation ballot papers for the 2016 municipal elections. The selection of the order of parties on ballot paper through a lucky draw has been the established practice for all our elections over the past 21 years of democracy in South Africa. It remains the fairest and just way of determining the order of parties on the ballot paper. There is still some difference of opinion about the impact of the position of names on the ballot papers. Many studies have been conducted and have found positive correlation between the position of a party and the results. But many studies have also found that a variety of factors, including publicity, engagement, education of voters, and many other factors, may modify or even nullify ballot paper position effect. One of the most recent studies on the impact of position of names on ballot papers was conducted in 2014 at Aarhus University in Denmark. The researchers included one of the former commissioners of this organization, Jørgen Elklit, an international member of the interim IEC of 1994. Their research, based on election results for more than 10,000 candidates listed on 103 different ballot papers, found that ballot position did have a causal or a causal effect on election results in the PR system. So today's draw is not inconsequential, but also it is not a sole determinant for a party to win an election. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, South Africa enjoys a multi-party democracy, an important measure through which we assess the relative health and vibrancy of our democracy is the number of political parties and candidates who contest our elections. In this regard, we have seen a steady growth in a number of political parties contesting municipal elections since 2000. In that year, there were 79 political parties contesting various PR ballots. 6 years later, that number had grown by 23% to 97, and it grew by another 25% between 2006 and 2011. This year, we have seen yet another significant leap in a number of political parties contesting municipal elections. There are currently a total of 206 different political parties, including community-based organizations, ratepayers associations, and other locally based structures which have submitted candidates lists and will be contesting the elections. The elections, as you may be aware, it's 8 metropolitan municipalities, 205 local municipalities, and 44 district councils. That is an increase of 69% since 2011. The Western Cape tops the list with 77 political parties. It will be followed by Limpopo with 56, Gauteng with 45, and the Eastern Cape with 43. The smallest number of parties contesting the elections will be found in the Northern Cape with only 18 political parties participating. I'm not trying to encourage people of the Northern Cape also to increase the number of parties contesting the elections. We are happy with the number we have. Limpopo has shown the most significant growth in the number of parties since 2011, growing from just 22 parties which contested the 2011 elections to 56 in this year's elections. This is a growth of 155%. In terms of the metros, the metropolitan councils with the longest PR ballot paper will be the Western Cape with 37 political parties contesting. The shortest metro will be Buffalo City in the Eastern Cape with 10 parties contesting the metro. The number of parties contesting the metros is as follows. Buffalo City, 10 political parties. City of Cape Town, 37. Ekurhuleni, 26. eThekwini, 26. City of Johannesburg, 28. Mangaung, 13. Nelson Mandela Bay, 19. Whilst Tshwane Metro will have 20. 4 municipalities in the Eastern Cape, namely Blue Crane Route, EC 123, Great K, EC 126, Ngqushwa, EC 131, and Inquba, Yetemba, share the shortest PR ballot paper with just 3 parties contesting each municipality. At the same time that we are also seeing a growth in the number of political parties, we are also seeing a growth in the number of independent candidates contesting these elections. In 2006, there were 663 independent candidates contesting those elections. This grew by 14% to 774 in 2011. We are still capturing, as you may be aware, because not every person took advantage of our online system. So we are capturing and validating the various candidate nominations received by the deadline on Friday, but the early indications are that approximately 970 independent candidates will be contesting this year's municipal elections. It is very, very possible that by the time we complete, it will either be around 1,000 independent candidates that will be contesting this year's elections. In total, to date, more than 66,000 candidates have been captured as part of the candidate nomination submission process. Most encouragingly, nearly 57% of this, or about 38%, were submitted using the electronic means or the new innovation that we have introduced, an online candidate nomination system. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, we are now just 58 days or 8 short weeks away from the municipal elections. Our preparations are well advanced and we are proceeding accordingly. The voters' roll has been certified and contains a record of 26.3 million registered voters who will be casting their vote on the 3rd of August. That is 2.7 million more voters than we had during the previous municipal elections in 2011, or an increase of 11.3%. On Friday this week, on the 10th of June, the application window for special votes will open until the 8th of July. For the first time, voters will be able to apply for special votes online via our website. And applications for special votes at your voting stations will also be possible via SMS this year. As I mentioned, the candidate nomination process is closed and the validation of the nomination is underway. On Monday, parties and candidates who have not fully complied with the nomination administrative requirements will be notified and will have a week to comply or to rectify whatever issues that would have been identified in the process of their submission. By the 1st of July, we will issue certificates to parties and candidates and will begin printing approximately 80 million copies of 4,649 unique ballot papers for this election. Ladies and gentlemen, the quality of this year's municipal election will be determined by the quality of the voters' roll, the quality of our logistics, as well as the quality of our staff. These are all receiving due attention and priority by the Electoral Commission. But the freeness and the fairness of the elections will also be determined by, to a large extent, by the political environment. The violent protests and the killings of individuals intending to contest the elections has raised serious questions and concern about what we need to do as individuals, as institutions, as communities, to arrest the situation before it gets out of control. It is important that our actions reinforce a firm belief that the only way of addressing issues currently gripping our country is through a democratic means. Those who are elected in position of responsibility must also recognize that they are ambassadors of a democratic system and must be able to demonstrate its fruits and benefits to the communities that elect them. In other words, councillors and public representatives who are elected must deliver on their promises to their constituencies in order to reinforce a belief in the benefit of a democratic order. Political leaders and parties must also realize the enormous responsibilities they carry. Political parties, as well as community leaders, irrespective of political affiliation, must help bring about stability in the country, must be circumspect about public statements that they make. Of course, the role and responsibility of other stakeholders in the electoral process does not detract from the enormous responsibility that the Commission bears as a custodian of free and fair elections. From our side, as a Commission, we have the staff, we have the system, and we have the commitment to protect the integrity of our elections. All of us, as commissioners and the staff of the Electoral Commission, are well aware of our responsibility to assure the country that the elections will take place on the 3rd of August and that these elections will be free and fair. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.